Welcome to Vertical Football, and this is the five things we learned here. This is the World Cup. It is still continuing, and this is Spain new, Cape Verde new. Unbelievable. I think it's shocking for everybody. I don't think we would have gotten anyone to say, oh, Cape Verde would have been able to hold Spain in this particular match, given the form that Spain is in. During the qualifiers, I think they won all of their matches except the last one where they played the 2-2 draw. And coming into the World Cup, I think they are very fresh. They have everybody intact. I was very surprised with the lineup. I think the coach was a little bit conservative with his lineup, not putting in wingers into the game in the person of Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. I think that dragged the attacking threat back a little bit. If we're looking at the progression of the game, I think Spain did not really start out like the Spain that we used to know. The passes was there. They were stringing passes all around, but there was nothing out of it. I think it was just chances, glimpses of chances here and there, maybe like 1 in 10 minutes. And the goalkeeper of Cape Verde was really in the game. He was actually keeping them out of the game. And I think the defensive part of Cape Verde's game was up in that level, and to some extent, I would say the defensive level was up there, but if there were more attacking threats in the game, I think Spain showed chances of creating something. It was just like the individual who were to convert those chances were the ones that were not up in their game. Yeah, so I think that's my thought. And even coming into the second half, I think Cape Verde began to like open the field. They started to like they wanted to be more ambitious, but I think Spain started showing some glimpses of playing the ball in behind or players running in behind and getting the pass. So I think they came back to their senses. We can't come out to play against these guys, and they went back deep again, and then it just became something that all they needed to do was defend perfectly well. And I think they did the job very well. Spain will be very disappointed, or anybody following Spain, I think they'll be very much disappointed. So let's discuss about the 5 things we learned in this particular match. I think the first thing is the defensive resilience from Cape Verde. I think I didn't see that coming, in all honesty, because you see how they defended. Sometimes they were in a 4-4-2, sometimes they were in a 4-5-1, sometimes they were in a 5-4-1. But the major point for them was defending at all costs. And I like the way they went about it, because Spain did something in that match which was shifted on one side and found a way to like switch the play quickly and then create 1v1 on the other side. But I think Cape Verde they were very much aware of the situation, that they were not reluctant to shift on one side. So they went full force on one side, allowing only one player stay on the other side. But when the pass is going down there, they were not slow to react. They were very quick to like react and then go on to overload that side and cover it again. And I think that thing cost Spain a whole lot of times, because and that's the reason why I say if they had proper wingers, when the winger gets the ball in a 1v1 situation, it was easier for him to like penetrate, take his player 1v1, go into the byline and make cutbacks, or come out and play and then take shots and do all of those kind of things. But because it was just fullbacks who were touching the line, so he reduced the threat level. And also staying in the 4-4-2 or 4-5-1, they make sure that Spain was not able to operate in the pocket. I would say Spain was not up to their level, because having people like Fabian Ruiz, having people like Pedri, Gavi, those are players that they can get the ball in the pockets and just string passes, allow people jump and create something up front. But I think we just need to give it to the defensive shape of Cape Verde. They were really, their head was in the game. They were resilient. They didn't lose focus at any point in time. Area balls, they were there. Playing the ball in ground, they were there. I think they didn't panic. They didn't, like, unlike yesterday when we were speaking about Netherlands versus Japan, when we were saying Japan was giving respect to Spain. But I think in this one, as much as they defended, they didn't give so much respect. You can't see the fear in their face, like, oh, these guys are coming, and you see them panicking and then they go on to self-inflict. I think that was not part of their game. They were heads high, heads up, and know what they came there for. And I think they got what they actually came there for. Secondly, let's talk about the attacking threat of Spain. In all honesty, I think it was way below Spain level, yeah, to be very honest, because you look at the way they set up. The idea was they had somebody like Pedri and they had Rodri on this side, and then they had Cucurella holding the wheat. On this side, they had Ferran Torres and they had Loriente at his back there. I think when they got the ball, when the ball gets to somebody like Rodri, his basic orientation, if you watch the matches, keep stringing the passes around, keep recycling the play, because you don't want to just keep it on one side. You want to keep on moving it around so that you can shift the opponents from one side to another, and then if you find opening, put the passes into it. So when the ball gets to Rodri, is more of doing that duty. And sometimes when they want to switch from one angle to the other part, Rodri gets the ball and switches it quick. But when the ball gets to Pedri, when he gets the ball, Pedri is more oriented to find players in the pockets and just drop the passes here and there. But I think one of the things that they suffered for in this particular one when it comes to the attacking sense of the game was when they were putting the passes, when somebody like Pedri was putting the passes into the pocket, I think they didn't have the guys who were able to magnet the ball and just do quick combination and then create something out of it. Because you know that Rodri is saddled with the responsibility of switching the play and making sure that the ball is in recycling. But with somebody like Pedri, when he gets the ball, he's looking for intricate passes. He's looking for players in the pocket to collect the ball and do something with it. And sometimes he wants to give the pass, so he collects it. Somebody has jumped and then play a pass for a person who is running in behind. But I think the guys who were in the pockets didn't really do the job perfectly. And even on the wing, on this side, on the right hand side where Ferran Torres played, I think they were poor. To be very honest, in my own viewpoint, I think I didn't see Ferran Torres like somebody who would thrive so much on the right hand side. I think he's somebody who would have done the running in behind job perfectly. But on the right hand side, him combining with somebody like Loriente, I think they didn't really do a good job. I think Loriente was too stiff, because if you look at the way Marco Cucurella was running in behind, given the fact that he didn't even have a winger to play with, because somebody like Pedri would have shifted inside. So he is running in behind. But when it gets to wanting to play the ball on this side, if somebody like Ferran Torres has gone into the pocket or gone into the half space, you are not seeing that run. There is this stiffness from Loriente on the right hand side, and I think he reduced the potency of their attack on the right hand side, which I felt like should have been the best place for them to attack. Because if you're having somebody like Ferran Torres who can come inside, then you have the luxury of running in behind and doing all of those things with the ball. So I think that's just my point for the attacking parts of Spain. And we should also speak about Ferran Torres and Oyarzabal. I think Oyarzabal was way below his own level, because he's the kind of guy that, you know, he does not necessarily need to be heavily involved in his play. He's just a clinical guy. He's just a guy who just get the ball to me and I will score the goal. And couple of times we get moments where somebody like Pedri or even Fabian Ruiz find passes to him when he's running behind or just opening his body to get the ball on his left hand side. But I think he struggled most, especially with his first touch. When the ball comes to his leg, it's kind of like he's finding his balance before he's able to kick the ball perfectly. And the ones where he's getting rebound or winning second ball to put headers into the back of the net, I think the goalkeeper was just so brilliant. And for Ferran Torres, he should have sealed the game like way in the first half. He got so much of chances that you're looking at somebody to be in the attacking position for Spain should be burying those chances. Looking at the one that he gave to the goalkeeper, looking at the one that the ball, there was a square play from somebody like Cucurella coming out, the other player opening his leg and it gets to you. I'm expecting you putting it in the far post, up there, like look for the far corner, not playing it down. When you're playing it down, there's even a high tendency that he does not even get to the keeper and is getting a block. But fortunately, he didn't even touch anybody. But because he's playing it down, the keeper will cover those spaces. But if you are putting it in the far corner, there is no how he's going to react so quickly to get that kind of ball. And look at the header from Cucurella down to him in the first half. He's just hitting it on the bar. I think he cost them. You can't put it all on him, because you will say Cape Verde, they were also good in the way they play. But when you get chances like this, you need to be converting it, because you don't know what the game is going to turn out to be. And another thing that I would like to speak about is the dynamic of the way games are being played these days. I think now you don't necessarily, given the fact that it is even a World Cup match, when a smaller team is playing against a bigger team, and in this sense Cape Verde playing against Spain, I think it's just a logical thing to think about, that Cape Verde is going to be the underdog. I think underdogs are beginning to find a way to play against bigger team, and most especially in the dynamic of the way Spain is playing. They are the kind of organized kind of team who wants to look for passes, string passes around, allow the opponents either fall into an error or self-inflict, and then you punish them with that, or you find a way to use passes to open space and then string it into it and allow your player go on to score. They are very structured and very organized. But when you are playing against the smaller team who is like the small boy versus the big boy, I think the small boy will always come with a plan like, okay, if these guys are organized, then let us just be organized in our defensive structure, because we know that they will not necessarily go out of the way to do something crazy or be very pragmatic in anything that they want to do, or maybe invite us back into their own space and play through us and get the ball up front. They want to push us into our own den and then start looking for a way to punch hole into our defense. So I think it's just the dynamic of the way the game, and I believe that a whole lot of teams will learn from what Cape Verde have done in this particular match, given the fact that when the smaller teams are coming against the bigger teams, I think they will just be naturally wired that we know that we cannot be able to play these guys. Let's just sit back and absorb them into a space where Cape Verde, if they were good in the attacking sense, would have even gotten something out of this game, because they defended really tight and they got moments where they got into a break, like a counter attack. It was just the decisions up front that didn't give them something to do. So I think the dynamic of games are changing. One is going to be the possession based, one is going to be the one who is dominant, and the other one, primary job is just to defend and defend really well. So I think it's kudos for Cape Verde that they were able to defend that game from the first minute into the last minute. And lastly, I think it's just the way forward is going to become a very tough thing in this particular one if you are not being able to. I don't know what the group fixture of Spain is like. Let me check. But I believe if they are going to be playing against smaller teams like Cape Verde, and no shades to Cape Verde, now you're having Uruguay and Saudi Arabia. These are all lower level countries in the sense of football compared to Spain. I think that all of this other team will be looking at these are possibilities in a way that we can play against this Spanish team. I believe they will be thinking about those things. And if they can just add another facet to the game of let's be very, very clinical when we get the counter attack, I think this is going to be a very tight corner for Spain to get out from. So guys, these are my thoughts about the match. What's your thoughts? Please put it in the comment section. This is brought to you by Vertical Football. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done that. So we see you some other time. Namaste.